If you've ever looked at booking a cruise, you probably have a few questions. One of those might be, what does my cruise fare actually pay for? There are some obvious things like the food that you eat and the staff that you can see looking after you, but there are loads of costs that you probably would never consider but that you're paying for when you book a cruise. Let's pretend that you book a cruise for £1,000. This could be £1,000, it could be dollars, it could be euros, it could be 1,000 magic beans, it really doesn't matter. Out of your 1,000 things, a massive chunk is going to be the cost of the onboard experience. This is the things that you can actually see, that you can smell, that you can taste on board. I'm going to start with food because food is a massive part of the cruise experience for me. On a cruise you can eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, afternoon tea, evening snacks. You can eat so much on a cruise, but cruise lines only spend 6% of your cruise fare on actually feeding you. When I cruise, I like to budget around £100 a night. That's what I tend to pay. On a £100 per night cruise, you're actually only getting £6 a day worth of food. It would be very hard to feed yourself to the quality that cruise lines do for £6 a day, but cruise lines buy in bulk so they can keep the prices low. On a 7-night cruise with Royal Caribbean, they're going to get through 60,000 eggs. They're going to get through 9,700 pounds of chicken and 20,000 pounds of potatoes. Buying in such huge bulk means that cruise lines can get food much cheaper and they can feed you to a really high quality for only 6% of your cruise fare. The next expense for cruise lines is fuel. Cruise ships are huge, they carry a lot of people and they cover a lot of ground. The amount of fuel that a cruise line needs depends a lot on the size of the ship and the age of the ship, but 1,000 gallons of fuel per hour is quite average within the cruise industry. Cruise lines typically spend about 8% of your cruise fare on fuel. This means that they're actually spending more on fuel than they are on food per person. I don't know why, but that one just really surprised me. Commissions are a huge part of your cruise fare. Commission is the money that travel agents make when they book cruises. It's kind of their little slice of the pie that they get for actually booking the cruises for the cruise lines. Commissions vary by cruise line, destination and many more factors, but an average travel agent could expect to get around 10% of a cruise fare. So on our £1,000 cruise fare that we've spent, £100 of that is going to an agent. Of course, this is generalised. Not everybody will actually use a travel agent when they book a cruise, but it's still about 10% of the cruise line's expenses that go directly to the commission of the travel agents. Onwards now to transport. Of course, cruise lines go all over the world and they have so many things that they need. They need people transported, they need food transported, they need everything for onboard life transported by plane, by car, by train. It's a massive undertaking and it's about 5% of your cruise budget. There are other operating expenses which make up another 12% of your cruise budget, but these aren't overly exciting, so I'm just going to put them on the pie chart and we can move on. Looking after the cruise ship itself is a massive task. They need to make sure everything is clean, everything works. The cruise lines need to make sure that the shops are open, the bars and the restaurants are fully stocked and that the ship is generally in good condition. If the shops aren't open, they can't sell anything, they can't make money, and that is bad for the cruise line. In 2019, it's estimated that 30 million people will take a cruise. That's a massive number. If you can imagine 30 million people traipsing through a cruise ship, you can see why they need to spend money on keeping the ship nice. They spend about 7% of your cruise fare on board the ship itself. When you're on a cruise, you're going to see loads of members of staff. You're going to have room stewards that are cleaning your room. You're going to have chefs and galley teams who are cooking your breakfast, lunch and dinner. You're going to have waiters who will bring you your food. They'll bring you your drinks in the bars and the lounges. Cleaners will be everywhere, making sure everything is clean. You've got a huge entertainment team of singers, dancers, Zumba teachers, cruise directors, and you also really need to have a captain and some officers. Without this, the cruise really isn't going to get very far. You also have people who work in the spas, the shops, the gyms, just about everywhere. The total onboard spend for payroll comes to about 10% of your cruise fare. Some cruise lines include their tips and gratuities in the cruise fare. If they do, this will be included in the 10% mentioned above. Some cruise lines automatically add tips or gratuities at the end of your cruise. They tend to be around £10 per person per day, and it's not a massive problem, but if you don't know that that is going to happen and you find this massive bill at the end of your cruise, it can be quite a surprise and not a good one. On most cruise lines, it is possible to remove the automatic gratuities and just tip the people that you see. I wouldn't recommend doing this because although you can tip the people that you see, there are a lot of people working behind the scenes on cruise ships who would miss out if you removed the automatic gratuities. The total operating expenses that we've seen so far make up 56% of your cruise fare. A huge percent of your cruise fare goes on marketing. Without marketing, a cruise line really couldn't survive. Marketing is described as the action or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. This basically means that marketing is in charge of getting people to know about the cruise line and getting people to book the cruises. This also includes the cost of actually selling the cruises, of being able to book them online and on the phone. Cruise lines used to advertise mostly on paper, in magazines and on TV, but they're increasingly advertising on social networks now, on YouTube, on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. The total marketing spend comes to 14% of your cruise fare. Out of your £1,000 cruise fare that you spent £140 on marketing. Depreciation might not be the coolest thing, but it's very, very important for cruise lines. If you were to buy a car that costs £50, in a year or two's time it might only be worth £20. And this is happening to everything that the cruise ship owns. The cruise ship owns ships, it owns buildings, it owns loads of things on the ship, and this is happening to everything. Depreciation actually costs the cruise line around 11%. To fill up the pie chart, we have got profit. Of course, it's important that the cruise lines make profit so they can reinvest, so that they can grow. Out of your cruise fare, about 17% is the net profit for the cruise line. Royal Caribbean recently released some financial accounts which said that in 2016 they took 15% of your cruise fare as profit, in 2017 they took 18% of cruise fares as profit, and in 2018 they took 19% of cruise fares as profit. There is, however, other income for the cruise lines. If you spend £1,000 on your cruise fare, that is not the only money that the cruise line is going to get from you. On an average £1,000 cruise fare, the cruise lines actually get around £400 extra in onboard spend. The cruise lines really want you to spend money on board, and most of this is done by the sale of drinks. Drinks can either be bought on a cruise on a pay-as-you-go basis, similar to how you'd buy them on land, or it is possible to buy drinks packages which will allow you to have a certain amount of drinks or unlimited drinks, depending on how much you spend. Cruise lines make a lot of their money through drinks, and they also make it on specialty dining. When you're on a cruise, you don't have to spend any extra money on food, but what most cruise ships will have is specialty restaurants which cost extra. These are supposed to be better and nicer than the normal restaurants, and people will spend quite a lot of money in them. There are two ways you can pay for specialty dining. You either pay for it in one chunk, so it's £50 to eat here, and that is the flat rate, or you go in and you pay per thing that you order, similar to how you would on land. Cruise lines also make a lot of money through gambling in the casinos. They make money on things like spa treatments, like photos, like spends in the gift shop. They really do want you to spend as much money as you can on board, and a lot of the cruise process is centered around getting people to spend more money. Looking at the cruise line's income, most of it comes from cruise fare, with about a third coming from onboard spend. In regards to cruise line expenditure, cruise lines actually only get left with around 17% profit because they're spending a lot of their money on the food, the fuel, the commission, transport, operational costs, costs on board, payroll, marketing and depreciation. Is this what you expected? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I bring you a new video every single week, so I'll see you in the next video.